Nice light Pilsner to get the day started.
I feel super bad about, like, for him,
because of what happened in his personal life while he was on tour. That's just crazy.
Well, I don't even know about this.
Look it up. I don't want to say again. I want to keep it respectful.
Oh my god!
You're finding.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I just found out. No way.
Yeah. You
I'm
can
sorry.
do this later.
That is so shocking to me. I
you
can't
can do this
believe it.
later. Now
What
you
a
can do this later.
scumbag! Not Jason Duffner. Not Jason Duffner. Let me be very clear. Jason Duffner is not a scumbag.
Jason Duffner.
There's another individual who is.
Yeah.
And he may have come out with a really shitty line of golf apparel recently. Number one, I don't think Pine Tree's an insanely difficult course, but given that it makes up a lot of its distance on par 3s and par 5s, there was a lot of holes where I didn't need to hit driver, and in fact, a lot of them I didn't even need to hit 5 or 3 wood. I hit 4 iron on a few.
And again, I don't mean this in a bad way. This is a lot of people struggle with this. I struggle with it. You know that I struggle with this. You are very bad at being the best caddy for yourself. Once you fail at executing the shot the way you did, the way you wanted to, then it's like hate on Zach. The exercise that you should do with your players, your juniors, college students, whatever, is you should just go on their playing lesson. If you're doing a playing lesson with them, you should go take some balls of theirs. They hit a great shot, and then they hit their neck. They're going to hit their next shot. They hit a great second shot. Take a ball and chuck it into the woods or chuck it into the high rough and say, all right, that shot doesn't count anymore. I need you to play from here. Mindset's definitely not I suck, because they just hit 2 great shots. They're much more likely to hit that shot well than if, and again, statistics will prove me out on this. They're much more likely to hit that shot well if you did it over a large sample size than if they themselves hit the shot there. If you just took all their bad tee shots and you just looked at where their dispersion rate was, they'd be a lot closer to their target if you just threw them in the spot than if they themselves hit it to that spot.
Gotcha. I think my issue is proximity to hole ball striking. There we go. And welcome back to the Beerly Out of Bounds podcast. I'm your host, Zane Smith, as always. And with me is our brand new co-host of the show, Michael Pashota. Mike, how's it going?
How's it going?
It's going good,
Thanks
man. Yeah, are you excited?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're excited?
Looking forward to it all day.
Yeah, all day long.
All day.
All day long. Yeah, so we've got a couple things to go over. You know, obviously this is the holiday season, so there's a lot less going on in golf. But first and foremost, let's talk about like what we have to drink right now, because it is the Beerly podcast. So I've got a fun little concoction right here. I've got Cream of the Hop by Pontoon Brewing. It's local. It's right down the road in Sandy Springs kind of area. So there's that. What about you?
I didn't go the beer route. I went rum and Coke.
Okay, rum and Coke.
Cheers.
Rum and Coke it is. Cheers. There we go. I definitely should have opened that sooner. That was definitely it was definitely more fresh a week ago than it is now. So Mike, just if you don't mind telling everybody just a little bit about yourself, you know, what made you want to come on the podcast? Obviously you got Shadow right here that's really loving you, but yeah, the mascot of Beerly. But
so I am from Alpharetta and play at Golf Club of Georgia. That's how we got to know each other. And I
G-Cog.
played golf at Georgia Tech and ventured into professional golf after I graduated. And I've been doing it ever since. Started caddying for a few friends, actually. I've caddied for some guys on Corn Ferry. I did a couple PGA Tour events, and then I actually went over to caddy on Asian Tour and a little bit of LIV Tour with a buddy from Georgia Tech, and then now I am back on PGA Tour caddying for another Georgia Tech guy.
Nice.
So
awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Well,
I'm not just a golf nerd, just like we all are.
Love it.
So
That's why I knew you'd be great for the podcast. Mike's a really funny guy, and I know we've had several fun moments there at the club. So yeah, looking forward to how that translates to the podcast. So thank you so much for joining us, and wishing a long run. So anyway, so we talked earlier about this. You didn't watch a lot of it. You said you watched a few holes of it. What were your kind of biggest takeaways from? They had the showdown at Shadow Creek. What did you think of it? Did you follow any of it? The hype? Like, what did you think of the format? What's your thoughts?
I knew it was happening. I didn't know much details. I just knew who was playing. I thought it was cool. Mm-hmm. It's a great idea. And I think they did pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I probably would have liked to see like a little bit more banter, but I think they were like taking it pretty serious.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're all competitive guys, so I imagine they all want to win.
And Sure. I think
there had to be like a little bit of the PGA Tour LIV bad blood deal where like Scottie and Rory wanted to beat Bryson and Brooks.
Sure.
To show like PGA Tour is better than LIV and vice versa.
Absolutely. I think that if you looked at it, I've gotten to look through a lot of the comment section of what people were saying. Nuclear Golf. Do you follow them on
I do,
X?
But I haven't read any of it either.
So they had they sent out a poll, like, what did you think of it? And like a lot of it's negative of whether that be the broadcast, whether that be the actual event. I think a lot of that has to do with how one-sided it was. Like Brooks and Bryson got absolutely demolished by Scottie and Rory.
Yeah.
The only thing that kept, and everybody, if you watch this, the thing that even made it remotely watchable was actually the format, because the way they did it was kind of a points Ryder Cup style system.
Right.
Where
I did like that.
Yeah, I did too. Where it wasn't over until
it sped it along a little bit too.
It sped it up along, and then you didn't get that stupid thing where sometimes in golf you win 8 and 7 or something like that.
Yep.
So I liked that part of it, and I honestly, I don't know if I'm like the only one on the internet, but I actually liked the footage. The broadcast was fun. I do wish there was more banter. There just wasn't a lot of talking.
Yeah.
That really kind of, Bryson got so, I guess, butthurt that he was losing that he took his headphone out.
Right.
Which I understand if you're losing that bad. But still, it's like I wanted some, there was no trash talk, and that was kind of a letdown.
Yeah. It wasn't like that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But
they
had some good shots.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Rory and Scottie looked pretty good.
Sure.
And then Bryson hit some good shots. He just didn't putt well.
Yeah.
And then that was really just for the first six I watched. And then the alternate shot, it looked like both teams were kind of battling back pars.
Yeah, alternate shot was much better. Yeah, much closer.
And then I liked the format though, the 6-6-6.
I did too.
It was smart.
It was definitely a smart move.
They tried their best.
Yeah, they did.
They tried their best.
Yeah, they did. I do wish,
something about Charles Barkley too. I think he's a funny guy, but I just don't want to see him with my golf.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was on the other side of it, man. I really liked Chuck, man. And the thing that I liked about Chuck was just how he was kind of asking all those questions that you kind of want the commentators, whenever it's the PGA Tour, to be asking.
Yeah.
If I'm just the average golfer, I actually do want to know, do players take whatever ball they're playing that seriously, and how different that is from your normal average Joe. You know what I mean? So for instance, with you, what ball do you play?
Pro V1X.
Pro V1X. And why do you play the Pro V1X?
It just does everything I want it to.
Does everything you want it to. What's everything you want it to?
Goes far and spins still around the greens and has good flight.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, though, if I got into that situation and you were playing a Strixon, I'd be like, okay, is this I would ask 3 questions and be like, okay, no problem.
Yeah, but you'd still be trying to figure out and compute. Like if we were playing an alternate shot, you'd still be trying to figure out what my ball's going to do when you hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, that
Maybe.
was the cool thing is here in Charles. Like, because, again, if you're thinking average Joe,
Right.
we know this.
Right.
But if you're thinking average Joe, like, that's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Or like the thing they were bringing up about Bryson's one size iron lengths, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just the
Did they talk about that?
A little bit. They talked about, like, whenever the ball is, like, above his feet, because Bryson was missing it.
Right.
So the ball was above his feet, like how different that is than somebody who has like a normal size wedge.
Yeah.
It's way easier for somebody who has a normal size wedge.
Right.
Because they can
makes
just,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was, it was just interesting. Shadow's coming up. Yeah, I know. I love you too, buddy. But it was just an interesting dynamic. All right. You got to stop, buddy. You got to stop, or I'm putting you away. But it was just an interesting dynamic where I think Chuck asked all those questions that normally you wouldn't get from like, again, Frank Nobilo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. And I think that's another reason why Jim Nance is so good.
Yeah, that's true. They keep it interesting.
They do, and they kind of know what the average
outside the box questions.
Exactly. Whereas you get Frank Nobilo up there or like Brad Faxon. Like, what's your thoughts on like Brad Faxon?
I kind of like everything he has to say.
Really?
A little bit.
I like what he has to say. Do you think he's entertaining?
I don't know. I don't watch much golf.
Yeah.
But every time, I mean, I've seen him. I'm like, kind of intrigued to see what he has to say.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, he did put Rory as like the number two best putter of all time on his list.
Yeah.
So that's a red flag.
That is a red flag. However, Rory putted amazing.
Pretty damn good
at Shadow Creek, which is, everybody was talking about all the, I'm not a Bryson stan, but all the Bryson guys on Twitter were saying like, it's so hard to putt under the lights, and I get that.
It is different.
It is different.
It gives it another like look to it.
Yeah.
That you're just not used to.
But at the same time, that can't be like the excuse when the other guy's draining everything.
I know.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, he's obviously figured it out.
Yeah. I think, honestly, from what I could gather in the broadcast, I think that Bryson probably was using a different putter because he did mention something.
I think he was testing out a few things like driver, putter.
Yeah. Was he still using the crank? Did you catch that? Or
no, it's a lab driver.
Yeah,
I did see that.
I saw that on the
Flushing at Golf said that.
Yeah, I saw it on the. You know how he did the Reebok pictures. Yeah. It was in kind of like the bottom right hand corner of the image.
Was it?
Yeah, that's how I saw.
Oh, okay.
But is it lab?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I thought.
Really? Yeah. I thought it was LA Golf.
It's going to have like it could be LA Golf. Yes, it's LA Golf. Not
gotcha.
But it's LA Golf, and it's going to have like Crusher's logo on it, and it's going to be sick.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah. Have you ever hit any of the LA Golf shabs?
No.
You never have?
No.
They're really nice.
I've seen them. I've seen the guys out there, but no, I haven't.
Gotcha. Wow. You should
Are they
try.
good?
Yeah, they're really good.
Wow, what makes them so good?
Just I think for me, trying out, I didn't try their obviously Tour X. I tried their like Tour Stiff, which is like in between extra stiff and stiff because I don't have the mic to show the ball speed. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't need the Tour X.
Fast.
Yeah, that's really fast. I don't need the Tour X. Do you still have that on your screenshot? Like how fast your ball speed is?
No.
No.
Enough people told me to take it down.
You changed your wallpaper. So anyway, but I don't have your speed, bud. But like I tried the Tour Stiff, which is right in between. I think it's whatever. I can't remember the names they give their shafts, but I tried it, and it felt amazing. I don't know. I didn't get to test it with something else, so I don't know. It was at the PGA Tour show, PGA show, and I don't know how it would compare with the other clubs because you know how they have the different simulators there, like different booths have their own like TrackMan or GC Quad.
Yeah.
I didn't get to hit him like back to back, so I don't know how it performed. It didn't. Let's just put it this way: if it helped anything, maybe like dispersion.
Yeah.
I didn't notice a lot of difference in the distance.
Okay.
So do with that what you will. But anyway, yeah, dude, you gotta stop, man. Yeah, I hit dogs.
Oh God.
So anyway, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the game, right? In golf. One of the big things going on right now is the LIV Golf and Fox Sports are expected to agree to a broadcast deal. This was leaked by the Sports Business Journal. Go ahead and bring that up right here. So basically, this was released by Josh Carpenter. He was the guy who broke the story. So they're expected to agree to a broadcast deal with Fox Sports that would see the tour's tournaments air on the company's airwaves starting in 2025, according to sources. The structure of the potential agreement, including whether a rights fee would be included, wasn't immediately clear. Also unclear is whether the tournaments would air on Fox, FS1, or a mix of both. A deal has not been announced by either LIV or Fox, and while it could still fall through, sources expect an agreement. LIV tournaments have aired on the CW for the past 2 years. The deal had an option for a third year, but that was not picked up. Scott O'Neill, who SBJ, Sports Business Journal, reported is expected to be named as the new CEO and commissioner of LIV, has been on site in Las Vegas this week for the Showdown, as well as Greg Norman, by the way. He was there. The Tuesday match pitting LIV players together. This is just telling us where we are right now. What are your initial thoughts of this development, Mike? Is this something that you think is going to be a benefit to LIV? Is this something that you think is going to be more a benefit to the tour? Like, what does this do in your estimation? It does sound great.
But I don't know. I'm hoping it doesn't happen where like FS1 picks it up and now like half the people watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Then
like,
it just
if it was
it's
on
the
Fox
CW.
Sports,
Yeah.
then it's going to be unbelievable because they're obviously great. I mean, what they're doing is, I think, working. People are going over there to play it, and so I think it'll continue to grow. Once they get the TV deal, then it's kind of, just blast off from there.
Absolutely.
I think it's just too hard to find it.
That's what I think. I think
on YouTube, some people who are watching PGA Tour probably aren't familiar with watching YouTube.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing. It's they were doing pretty good with their app and stuff.
Right.
I do think you're right. I think anything that gets them more eyes, is going to be a benefit.
Once they get the more exposure, which they deserve. I mean, they're putting on great events.
I like them. I mean, I know you got to caddy for somebody on the LIV Golf League.
Yep.
Did what was the idea there? Like what was the feel in the event like?
So I was caddying for Andy Ogletree, and it was great. I mean, the atmospheres were cool, and people were like a little bit more nonchalant than. I mean, it's kind of the same everywhere you go. Sure. I don't think it's really that much different actually than if you went to like the Honda Classic that I've caddied in too, or I'm trying to think of other tournaments where they've had like dome holes, kind of like a waste management type. They're big on that. They have that every tournament. Yeah. And so, I think that what they do is great. I also like the team aspect that they got, and I think everyone out there
likes it.
I think it's like kind of a positive thing on their tour. I think it's just a lot of like other haters out there. Yeah,
we were talking. Me and my brother, we were talking about it on the podcast a little whiles back about how we liked the fact that the way they structured, especially the final day, where everybody's score counts.
Yeah,
we thought that was a net positive because it makes it a lot more interesting coming down the stretch.
Right.
We just were thinking that maybe they've kind of missed the mark with the final day not being a shotgun.
Yeah.
maybe the final day being tee times, because there is, and maybe you agree with this, maybe you don't, there is something to the whole walking up 18 and it's one group you're focused on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But again, I don't know how that would work with the team format. We were just thinking with just the way those things are aired, that it might be a positive to the, more eyes on it at one given moment. It'll kind of drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because I know. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Well, I see your point there. I mean, like, you gotta think like the majors and East Lake every year.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It is cool, and like a lot of the moments I remember growing up and watching golf, like the big moments, were that final golf hole, which on LIV, yeah, they can air that final golf hole, but there's a lot of golf around the course being played at the same time.
Right.
And that's kind of the thing that I think is the kind of draws me away from it in that respect. I do love the amount of golf they show. I don't know if you've ever watched like a broadcast. I know you caddied for it, but like, did you ever go and like watch a broadcast yourself? Yeah. So like the big thing that I took away from it is they're actually doing something that the PGA Tour needs to start doing, which is showing golf.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that really is why they have better coverage. You just see only golf.
Yeah, it's golf shot. PGA
Tour, you're like hearing this drama story and like it's advertisement after advertisement, and then it's like,
oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's terrible.
They literally, I think you remember this. Vince Whaley, he's also at the Golf Club of Georgia, Georgia Tech alum. He was, I think, in third at a tournament.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't air a single shot of his.
Which one was it? Barracuda? Or
yeah, I think it was Barracuda.
Yeah, I know. I thought that same thing.
Yeah,
they're really focused on that last group.
And here's the thing: they'll show freaking like JT or somebody that's like way back. I don't know if they showed
right, but
JT.
They have a good shot to get to like 9 under.
Yeah, and it's like here you've got a guy who actually has a chance to win the event.
Right.
Even in Sea Island, they showed him a lot. They showed him more Saturday.
Right.
Once Sunday came around, they showed him, I think, a total of one shot, and that was his drive on 18.
Yeah.
And that was a bummer because like he actually had a chance the whole day to win the tournament.
Yeah.
So I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't either. I really don't either.
I wish
I had an answer.
Yeah. Because you're showing Maverick McNeely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're showing McNeely.
Uh-huh.
You're showing what's his face in the same group. I can't remember who was also
Daniel
in there.
Berger.
You're showing Daniel Berger.
Yeah.
And you're not showing the third guy in the group, who also has a chance to win the event.
He was leading the event through 3 holes. He birdied the par 3.
Yes.
And he was in the lead.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, make it make sense where you're not showing the top of the leaderboard. For instance, I think in golf, you should always have a policy where you're showing, no matter what, every shot for the top 10 guys.
Yeah.
Top 10 guys, if you want to show Tiger, great. Show Tiger a couple shots. If you want to show Rory, he's barely making the cut, show Rory. But if they're in the top 10, their shots better be getting aired.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes they just completely miss the mark.
They do. I think most of the time they really
the advertisements are what kill me.
Really?
I hate those.
Do you like the playthrough advertisements where it shows like advertisement here
at the same time?
Yeah.
What a joke.
That was supposed to help us, the consumer, and I just feel like I can't see anything if it's like that small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I don't know if that actually helps us, but I'm excited. Yeah, it's like Viagra, like Cialis commercials, you know?
It's like, Jesus.
You can only hear Viva Viagra so many times before you just fall asleep.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, those guys also fall asleep. All right, so next, rolling on to the next topic here. So we're going to talk real quick about the PGA Tour taking down LIV Golf there at Shadow Creek. It was a great event. one of the best parts of it for me was again kind of the whole hype up to it was nice. I think we talked about this already. Didn't quite like the fact they didn't banter as much as they could have. But one of the things that I want to pull up here is something that Charles Barkley said at the Showdown. This is why, again, I like this. I like when people are allowed to speak their minds,
Right.
Because it's what everybody's thinking.
Yeah.
And so, real quick, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to play this for us, okay?
Yeah.
So here we go. Share this tab instead.
Guys have gotten a bad rep. Hey, they're all free agents. There's nothing wrong with taking money, but they need to merge. Because there's some stuff going on behind the scenes that's not right, not fair to the LIV guys, and also to the top, between 100 and 125 guys on tour. They're going to get screwed too, because they're going to lower the fields to 100. That's only going to help the best players and the richest guys. So don't get mad at other guys for taking money. Do the right thing for the game.
For that. Who knows?
See, Trevor, I can say what I want to because I ain't worried about getting
Well,
fired.
that was nice.
I'm hoping to get fired.
He said,
See, I missed that. That was a little later hole where I already turned it off. That's
oh,
too bad.
really?
I didn't give Chuck his due.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I thought it was one of those points that, needs to be said.
Right.
I do think like the event was great. I think that he's 100% right. Like, this could have all been avoided a lot sooner.
Yeah.
I think
If Jay Monahan just took that meeting.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Jay Monahan, I was actually talking with one of the guys out there today. What's his name? Not Streelman. Out there he's a Georgia Tech player.
Ross.
Ross. I was talking with Ross. And Ross, he had that same kind of thought, is like, like what's the thought? Do you know exactly how like the PGA Tour commissioner can even get fired? Like, I don't even know if that's like,
I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I've literally tried looking
I think
this
he's
up,
the
Mike.
Godfather.
I've literally
Who's
tried looking.
firing him?
I've looked this up, Mike. I literally don't know if he can be fired.
Well, who owns the PGA Tour?
Well, that's the thing. They're separate entities. This is the crazy part about how it's set up. So you have PGA Tour, the PGA Tour, which is a nonprofit organization, right? That's what the player policy board. That's what those guys are sitting on.
Yeah.
That's the board. That's their board. Then you have PGA Tour Enterprises, which I guess is the business side of PGA Tour.
Right.
That's a for-profit corporation.
Oh yeah.
Tell me how that makes sense.
I don't know.
So you can have PGA Tour Enterprises be a for-profit organization, but the PGA Tour is a non-profit
over there, though.
Yeah, well, and the crazy part about it is, Mike, guess who the CEO of PGA Tour Enterprises is? Jay Monahan.
Yeah.
So even if he were fired, let's say you voted him out on the player policy board, which I'm not even sure is possible.
I think PGA Tour Enterprise comes in there saying, "Okay, cool. So back to business."
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where you're exactly right. It's like The Godfather. Dude, you got to stop, man. You got to stop or you're going in your crate. Yeah, I beat dogs. So anyway, but it's just something that just literally doesn't make sense as to how it can stay a nonprofit organization. Like, for instance, if you think about it, let's put this whole situation in a different light. Okay, so I know we're getting a little off topic, but that's fine because this is Beerly, and we barely stay on topic anyway. So let's just put it in terms of this. Roger Goodell.
Okay.
Saudis come and they offer him money to invest in football.
He's also a criminal.
Doesn't take the meeting. Doesn't even take the meeting. Right? Yeah. Saudis decide, they didn't want our money, so we're just going to make our own World Football League or whatever.
Right.
And we're going to pay all those players to come play for us.
That would be so sick.
That would be freaking wild. So they paid all the players to come play for them. Now, what do you think all the owners of the NFL teams do with Roger Goodell?
fire him the next day.
Right.
Because there's no way they would allow such a thing to actually happen.
No.
What they would say to Roger Goodell is, you better take that damn money and
Yeah.
you better just take it in as that's that's an investment.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We'll do whatever you want. You know what I mean? That's what the owners would tell Roger Goodell. Now, how does that make sense with Jay Monahan and the PGA Tour?
I don't know. And then also how they got in that whole 9/11 deal too, where he was I mean,
Ross was talking about that, dude.
Dug deep.
Oh,
that was pretty brutal.
And then to just go back on it like that
Right.
after Jimmy Dunn meets with him and comes up with this framework agreement.
What a joke.
That was what a snake. You get all these 9/11 families, all these 9/11 victims.
Yeah, how do you do that to them?
I don't know. I don't even, dude. You can't be a good person. I don't think you can.
You just gotta have no regrets.
Yeah, you got to be a snake. That's what you got to be. But
I guess so.
some people are snakes in this world, Mike. Some people are snakes. So anyway, I guess we're done with the. Any last thoughts on Shadow Creek? It looked amazing.
I thought
Looked
Brooks didn't, from the shots I saw Brooks hit, they weren't that great.
Yeah,
He's still
finding it.
Yeah.
He's
finding it.
Yeah, he still lost it. Yeah, he putted a lot better than Bryson. Bryson
hit some good ones, like that par 5.
Sure.
How about that on that par 5 that Rory made that putt from off the green?
Yeah.
For eagle.
Yeah.
You know that to tie was -165. That was what they had of the.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Rory and Scottie had where they were from, and
Bryson had a
4-foot.
You should have bet on it. You should have bet on that hole.
Seriously.
You should have. You should have said, "I'm going to put down all my money on Bryson this and that putt."
I wish I did.
You would have made a lot of money.
I mean, I don't understand the whole sleeping bag he was wearing too.
Yeah, that was weird.
I get it was cold though. It was low 50s. It gets cold out there.
Yeah, but there's other ways to stay warm.
I know.
There's other ways. They literally have the best heaters in the world probably on them.
Probably.
And not just that.
Brooks looked cold though.
Brooks did look. They looked really cold.
Yeah.
Those greens were firm too. I mean, they were like rocks.
Yeah.
They were landing. Scottie's even Scottie's shot there on the par 3, it didn't spin at all. It just literally landed, rolled off the back. He still had an easier chip than the other guys did, but nothing was holding those greens.
Yeah.
Unless you had a wedge in your hand.
Yeah.
But
even then.
Have you ever played out there?
Nope.
No, never have either.
Nope.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
It does. It looks pretty sick. Have you ever played night golf?
I have. Actually in Saudi Arabia.
Really?
Yep. Under lights.
Pretty rad.
Yeah,
How was that?
Really cool.
Can you tell everybody about the experience?
It was unbelievable. Golf's over there. Obviously, it's all desert, but the grass is perfect.
Really?
It's perfect.
Not a speck out of place.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Really nice. It's great hospitality. Nice. I mean, yeah. Positive experiences every time. I've gone 3 different times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the TGL.
Tell me about the TGL.
Yeah. So the TGL, let's actually go ahead and pull up TGL.
I just know it's launch monitor. I mean, what is this?
So TGL is basically the original concept of it before they were even doing framework agreements and stuff like that. It was supposed to be a way of competing against LIV.
Right.
But
it's not even a PGA Tour thing. They're sponsoring it, but it's not part of the PGA Tour.
It's weird because they have extreme ties to PGA Tour Enterprises,
Right.
but not PGA Tour.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So TGL launch date.
That doesn't surprise me at all, actually.
No, it doesn't. Now that we've been talking about
Now
it.
that you taught me about PGA Tour Enterprises too.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. So TGL's inaugural season will begin January 7th. Looking forward to it. I'm actually looking forward to it now that I've seen now that we've kind of seen the venue, we kind of know what it looks like. I have issues, and I'll kind of tell you about that, kind of get your reaction on it. I have issues with the way it's formatted. But we'll get into that. So the TGL's inaugural season will start January 7th, 2025.
it was supposed to be debuting on January 2024, but obviously they had issues with. Did you follow that at all? How God like smited their arena?
Didn't the whole thing like fall down?
Yeah. So their arena got like hit by lightning and like a huge hurricane.
Right.
And just came crumbling down.
I do remember reading that.
That was wild.
It got pushed back a whole year.
A whole year because of that. That's pretty crazy. So anyway. This dog, man, he's
wilding out tonight.
He's having some fun over there. I'm telling you. So TGL, it's going to be taking place. Let's look up TGL.com. There we go, TGL. So just to kind of explain how the format is, this is what concerns me the most, and we'll go ahead and play their video here for you. So we'll share this tab. Go over here. There we go. All right, we're going to go ahead and play the video for you guys if you guys haven't seen it.
So far, 24 of the best players in the world, no, the universe, pitted against each other 3 versus 3. 6 teams in a first-of-its-kind arena.
Oh, there we go.
New 3-on-3. Let's talk golf. TGL Golf, a new 3-on-3 primetime golf league on ESPN. 6 teams from 6 cities, made up of the top players on the PGA Tour, will play in 2-hour weekly matches, culminating in playoffs and a championship. There are 2 sessions. The first, triples, a 9-hole 3 versus 3 alternate shot. The second, singles, 6 holes of players going head-to-head. Each hole is worth 1 point. If tied at the end, an overtime determines the winner. Set in a first-of-its-kind venue, the players hit into a massive screen, 24 times the size of a normal simulator screen, from up to 35 yards out. The short game will be played in an area larger than 4 basketball courts, on a tech-infused green with an adaptable surface to create hole-to-hole variations. TGL is also bringing to golf a shot clock, a ref, a timeout to ice the golfer, a hammer to raise the stakes, and the players are all mic'd up to get you in on the action.
This is TGL, presented by SoFi on ESPN.
So what is your thought about that one right there? What's your thought?
Interesting.
It is very interesting. The thing that I'm so worried about with it is, did you notice it's going to be triples?
Yep.
So triples alternate shot, and then they're going to be playing head to head for only 2 holes.
That's interesting.
Right. So you're, as one golfer, you're going to get to play 2 holes against one of their golfers.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be the next person's turn to play 2 holes against one of their golfers. My issue with that is, if I'm going there to see Tiger Woods, I may only get to see Tiger Woods hit 10 shots.
Yeah.
And that is concerning.
Yeah.
That's the biggest blow to that whole format. And it's one of the reasons why.
Is it really any different than like going to watch like a soccer game for Messi and then he gets hurt and you got to watch him only for like 5 minutes?
I see what you're trying to say.
Or he just doesn't want to play anymore.
The issue is, I'm not even talking about injury. I'm just talking about.
No, he's not getting injured. But
Rory's only going to hit 10 shots.
Right.
Like, that just blows my mind. So he's going to play. So let's say the 2 holes are a par 3, par 4.
Yeah.
So he hits a total of 7 shots on those 2 holes against his guy. Guy.
Right.
And then on the triples, where it's alternate shots.
They're obviously using Tiger as, it's his league, his and Rory's.
Sure.
And so I think, like, he can't be playing the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
I got that, but at the same time,
and he's still going to be involved too. So people they want to see and hear what Tiger has to say.
That's true. But you do know there's more than 3 guys on each team, right?
There's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's triples.
Yeah, and then the 4th guy plays the singles.
But then the other 2 guys, there's got to be 2 more guys that play singles.
Why? What do you mean triple?
So they play 2 holes each. So you do triples, and then you play 6 holes. A player plays one of their players for 2 holes, and then the next 2 holes, it's a different 2 players.
So where one person's just going to be sitting out.
But what I'm saying is, if that person's Tiger Woods, I only saw him hit 4 balls.
Yeah, I guess
Like
so.
that's a bummer, dude.
Oh, I see.
Think about it. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I love. So we'll get into this in a second. I'll show you some video because it is rad.
Right.
This whole simulator thing, I'm actually blown away by it. I didn't think it was going to get as big as it did. I was not a believer in TGL. I really wasn't. But the format is so concerning to me because if I watch it, I'm going to be honest with you. Watching the match or the showdown, in at Shadow Creek was not the best. But I think the only reason it wasn't the best was because you had one team play so bad.
Yeah.
I think in a TGL, it's going to be bad not because of any kind of performance issues, but just because I might only get to see my favorite golfer hit 4 or 5 shots.
Right.
And that's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
So
it's going to be really interesting to see how it works out.
It is.
Haven't you been to simulators before and they glitched on you?
Yeah. Do you think that that's going to happen?
Well, are these there's in the world and they're glitch free?
Supposedly, man. Like, did you see? So we're going to show you the screen real quick. Let's go ahead and show that. Pull that up here. So real quick, we're going to kind of show the screen on the. Is this it? Oh yeah, this is it. So this is Billy Horschel demonstrating like bunker shots. So they're going to actually have like this bunker area.
I did see this.
Yeah, so they're going to have this bunker area, which is pretty rad.
The same as Augusta National.
Yeah, so it's that super round silica sand. Yep. So
35 yards away, this seems like a lot too. Don't you think? Like you feel like if you have a 170-yard shot,
Yeah.
35 yards away. I guess it doesn't matter, but what happens then if you have like a 40-yard shot?
Well, that's the thing. So you do have those. I don't know if you can tell.
You can get a little closer.
Yeah, you have those closer ones, which I guess are for those wedge shots, so that you don't air the whole thing.
Right.
Because you're exactly right. If you were to take a wedge out of that sand trap that he's standing in right there, you're gonna end up in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they have the ones further up. I thought the same thing when I first saw this.
Right.
But yeah, they're gonna have that. But they have like the different grass types.
Yeah.
So they have like the normal grass. They got the longer grass for rough. I think it's synthetic.
Gotta be.
But it looks like it's not the synthetic we have at Golf Club of Georgia. It's like
the nicest synthetic that you would ever come across.
It's going to be like divot synthetic. Like,
oh,
yeah, it's going to be pretty epic. So really kind of looking forward to that as far as the TGL goes.
Wait, go up. Where's that live? Where is that right there?
Where is this right here? I actually don't know what that is. That's just saying about LIV Golf and sports especially expected to agree to a TV deal.
Okay.
It's the same thing we just covered before. Yeah. And then there was one more that I wanted to show real quick. Let's see if I can find it. We'll get to him in a second. Shoot. Let's see if I can find it. It was right down. Here we go. Let's go ahead and show this one.
You run into a problem.
This is Ricky Fowler giving the media a preview of it. Wow. Look how immediate it is. That's awesome. Because that was the concern. That was the concern I had. Kind of same thing that you brought up about glitches.
Yeah.
I was concerned about it being something that didn't register quickly enough. Yeah. So like you had the crowd waiting.
Right.
To see what happened to the ball.
Yeah, and next thing you know, it goes like 400 yards.
Yeah. But this is pretty immediate, just judging from the reaction. Like you can see it, boom, ball goes. See, so you got like a second, 3 seconds. It's like 1 second. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to oh crap. There we go. I'm looking forward to it. What do you have like
Have you seen like the teams? Do you have like a
I've
team
seen
you're
a
gonna
couple
root
of
for?
teams.
You have a team you're gonna root for? ATL baby. You gonna root for Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm probably root for Atlanta.
The Atlanta Drive. I think it's the Atlanta Drive.
With Justin Thomas, Lucas Glover, Billy Horschel.
Yeah.
How did Patrick Hanley get onto an Atlanta team from being a California guy?
Who knows?
They put
I think it was
Markelle on the team.
Max Homa is on the California team, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they left out Patrick?
I guess so. I guess nobody likes Patrick Hanley.
I don't know.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
You can't win them all.
No.
But
he's doing just fine.
Yeah, he's doing great. I think it is ironic that it's the Atlanta Drive, and you can't do that anywhere in Atlanta. You know, you can't. Like, it's just so hard to drive in Atlanta. Yeah, it's so hard to drive in Atlanta because traffic's always like at a halt. I do too. I know they came up with the frog one. Stupid. Have you seen that one? The Boston one.
I was about to ask if that was
Oh
Boston.
my god, they came it up with because they have like this common area pond in Boston. And they named it after it.
That's bad.
That's bad, right?
That's bad.
Like, out of all the things in Boston,
Is this TGL SoFi Stadium just in one spot? They're not making 6 of them.
they're going to be making 6 of them.
Really?
That's the idea.
Wow.
Yeah. So the initial thing is going to start the 7th.
They just have a whole bunch of money to blow on this thing, I guess.
They got a ton of investment from that SSG and then Fenway Sports Group, FSG. So
Okay.
who knows what that leads to as far as like if it's going to be successful or not. I do think, like I've said several times, they need a format change. Like, that format
Sucks.
is brutal.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't
It
want to
doesn't
watch.
sound great.
No, I'd rather watch a showdown. I'd rather watch a match.
Right.
Like,
You know
I mean-
what we were saying is that what they should do is bring back the old 18-hole Ben Hogan versus Sam Snead
exhibitions.
exhibitions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exhibitions are great.
Yeah.
Exhibitions is what we had whenever it was Tiger versus Phil.
Right.
The problem with the Tiger versus Phil match is they walked.
Right.
If they had rode carts, way more interesting.
Right.
If they had rode carts together, even more interesting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I should have.
They should have. That would have been awesome because then you could literally have Phil being Phil and like literally ragging on Tiger the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I
Phil's
mean?
good at, shit talking and chirping.
Really good at chirping.
Really good.
Really good at
And
chirping.
I was lucky to see that in first person.
Yeah.
Firsthand, I was able to.
Does he bet like unreal amounts of money?
No.
Oh, okay. So that's not true.
No,
about
that's
him?
not true.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not true.
I've heard because you hear that about different guys
Right.
about how like just
He's
licentious
just a
they are with
competitor.
their gambling.
He
Huh?
just likes to compete.
Yeah. Well, that's the same way I am. Like, I do that $100. I've said it on the podcast a number of times with a few buddies. We do like $100 a whole match, and we do a
Right.
special format where we tee off. I wish this would be a thing, but we tee off the white tees.
Yeah.
To start out, and if you win the hole, you get to pick the next tee box.
Really.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. And then you get to keep picking the next tee box until the other team wins a hole.
Wow.
So it's
That's
pretty.
cool.
It's $100 a hole, scramble. Yeah, I guess you could play it any format you want, but you win the hole and you get to pick the next tee box.
Wow.
Pretty fun.
Nice.
I love it, dude. And it stays pretty. It stays pretty tight.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it stays pretty tight. It's not like they're bad golfers,
That is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I've definitely been there where it's just hacks and you're like, oh god, I don't know. I don't even know what to play.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. I mean, I know we talked about this a little bit this past week, but what do you do to get like mentally ready for like tournaments like that, or what have you seen for like people trying to get better at playing with maybe not the best people to be paired with?
You're saying, what do people do?
Yeah.
in
What do people do?
preparation?
Like, what are the strategies that you've seen for people like getting ready and getting mentally prepared to play with?
Someone they don't want to.
Yeah, someone they don't want to play.
Because
Because I'm sure that happened on
probably, most likely.
Yeah.
I think we just stuck to our own selves. It's easy when you have a caddy. It's
Sure.
it'd be different if you had to like ride in a car with them.
Sure.
But since you're walking and you're just like doing your own thing, then it's easy to lock in on what you're world.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, because you're able to talk with somebody. I totally get that. I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that. But having a caddy would definitely cut you off from having to interact with other people.
right.
So that makes
I get
makes
myself
sense.
in trouble. I'd like to start talking shit.
Do you like talking shit? No, you do. That was a rhetorical question. I know you like talking shit. Of course, I like talking shit back to you, so
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy the
It
banter.
makes it, yeah, you need some banter.
You do. I actually think it makes you better at golf.
It really does.
I've told this to several juniors that, you know, like, because we were talking, I'll tell a funny story here in a second, but I've told that to several juniors that, like, hey, look, like, if you're going out to play, I know I'm not really supposed to tell you this, but I want you betting on. It has to be something worth something to you.
Right.
Even if it's not money, I'd rather it be money. But even if it's not money, it's got to be like something embarrassing has to happen, or something you really don't want to happen has to happen, or something you really want to get from somebody else.
Yeah.
It can't be like, let's go play, and then whoever wins gets $1.
Right.
There's got to be stakes.
Right.
The second thing is that I want to say was there's a funny story where I was trying to get our students. We had the Academy Elite program. This was before like we really started hanging out. We had the Academy Elite program back there with Jaron and the other coach Mason Harper.
Yep.
And we were we had 4 guys in each group. I was the only guy who had a girl in his little pod.
Right.
So I had 3 high school golfers and then a girl golfer. And we would play matches. And we would play matches against each other's pods. So like it'd be, somebody against my girl, and then somebody against one of my guys, so on and so forth. It was really cool. I want to bring that back. But the funniest part was there was this guy who played with this girl, and it was a really rainy day. It was like in November. And it was a really rainy day. It was a horrible day. And I told him, I said, hey, look, I know you got the short end of the stick because this is the first time they had gone out. I said, I know you got the short end of the stick because you probably didn't want to play the girl, but hey, man, like, just make sure, like, don't let up the brakes just because she's a girl, because she's a pretty good girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't let up on the brakes just because she's a girl. Like, really try and beat her, just like anybody else.
Right.
And he ended up losing to her.
Wow.
He played so bad.
Really?
And I remember calling, because I asked Jaron what I should do. And I said, I'm thinking about calling his parents and just being like, or just calling him. Sorry, just calling him. And just letting him know, like, hey, good job, but, in the future, here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't say it the most delicate way. I said, like, basically, like, hey, man, like, I've been there. Because I really have been there. Like, been almost too nice of a guy to where you're
Right.
playing with someone so bad
Yeah.
that you feel bad almost internally for beating them. And I told him, I said, you really just have to kind of step
Push
on
through that.
Step on her throat is the
Yeah.
word I used. I said, step on her throat. And then, again, I don't actually want her to lose to him because she's
Right.
on my pod.
Right.
It looked really good that my girl beat him.
Right.
But I wanted him to know it's like, hey, dude, just because she's a girl, because I know he can beat her.
Right.
Just because she's a girl, like,
Doesn't mean you try to, like,
don't
change
let
it.
up. Yeah,
Change
don't
your
let up
intensity.
on it.
Yeah.
So, and the other reason we felt bad for him
Show
is
her who's boss.
show her who's boss.
Yeah, show her who's boss.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Yeah. Call her daddy. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you gotta handle business. At the end of the day, on the golf course, in life,
I like
at
that.
school, gotta handle business.
Gotta handle business.
You got to,
Yeah.
right? It's not personal.
It's not for the weak.
It's not for the weak. You gotta go and get it done.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of, including myself. I include myself in this. Whenever I was growing up, I didn't handle business.
Yeah.
I took it as almost like I feel bad that they're playing so bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if I'm letting that affect my attitude, then I'm letting that affect my play.
Yeah.
And not playing to my full potential.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I think that it's obviously hard to block out those thoughts.
Yeah.
But that's what I was trying to get across to him. And I ended up saying something really insensitive. His parents called and like complained
to Jaron,
Oh God.
saying like how awful it was that I told him what I told him, and I was like, Jaron, I literally like, I don't know what, because I was blown away by it. I was like, I don't know what I said, and then he told me, did you say something about stepping on her throat or something like that? And I said, oh yeah, shit, I did. It was wild, dude. So wild.
The kid just took it too far. He took it too seriously. What you said?
No, he didn't. He took
You
it.
took it
He
too
took
far.
offense. I took it too far, but him and his parents took offense to it, like heavily.
Why?
Honest to God,
He
looking
doesn't
back
sound
at
cut
it,
out for this.
looking back at it, like even Branson was saying, like it's got to be something where it's like you did, even if it's said insensitive, it is the right because it is the right mindset.
It's the right message.
It is the right message. It's
Yeah.
100%.
It doesn't matter that she's a girl.
Exactly.
It
That wasn't
should be
the point.
anyone.
That wasn't the point. Even if it was a terrible dude,
Right.
even if it was a guy that you literally had to hold his hand all the way up to the next hole, like you still got to beat his brains in.
Right.
You still got to go in. You got to say it's not good enough to win by one. I'm going to win by 2 strokes here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was it's just so funny. It's just so funny how that happened. Oh, I got so much shit for that from Jaron. But anyway. All right. So that's pretty much it for as far as TGL talk goes. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it. I think my favorite team is probably going to be probably, honestly, I hate to say the Californians because I hate Californian, but I really like Max Homa. Yeah, I really like
Max Homa guy.
I like Max Homa a lot. Yeah, but I'm probably going to end up rooting for Atlanta just because we're here.
I hope so.
Yeah, we're here, right?
Come on now.
We're here.
Come on now.
We're here, dog. So a couple of speed topics to kind of go through. I know we're coming up on time here in about 10 minutes or so. A couple of speed topics to get through here. You have Marco Penge. I think that's how you say his name. Marco Penge. Let's share this tab right here. Hold on just a moment. There we go. So Marco Penge here, he was suspended this past week for 3 months by the DP World Tour after it was determined that he had been placing bets on golf events, violating the tour's integrity program. Penge did not bet on his own events, however. Mike, what are your thoughts on this?
He didn't bet on his own events. What a credible guy.
Yeah, I mean, right?
No, but I mean, I don't know. He
Are you a Pete Rose shouldn't be on the Hall of Fame type guy? Is that what you are?
No, actually, I think he should.
Yeah, he should, right?
Like even like in his documentary, he was like, "It's not like I was betting for us to lose."
Yeah, that's right. He's betting on to win.
Yeah. Like, why would you not bet on yourself to win?
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. That's why I don't. Honest to God.
Well, like the thing is here is that he sees it every week. Like who's playing good.
You made that, yeah.
So he gets a leg up.
It is a little insider stuff. I get it.
I don't understand.
At the same time, he's not playing in those events.
3 months? It's excessive.
Well, here's the thing, too. He's not playing at those events. How much insider information do you actually have not playing at the event?
Yeah, very true.
You know what I mean? Are you calling people up? I could see how if you could link him to like phone calls with other players.
What's he biting on there?
I don't know. Maybe a coin.
Gold coin.
Maybe a gold coin. I don't know. Maybe that's like a tongue-in-cheek way of saying you were too greedy. I don't know.
Could be.
Clever. But I honestly don't mind people betting on the events. I don't mind it if people bet on the events they play in as long as they're betting on themselves.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If they have to like throw it, then that's a different situation.
Correct.
You
You
know
can't
what
be
I'm saying?
betting on other people.
Right.
That'd be effed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be big no-no.
Right.
But if I'm betting on myself, I should be able to do that. And if I'm not playing in the event,
yeah, you should just go back to being a normal.
agreed. Like,
person.
here's the other thing, too. Should Tiger be able to bet on events even though he's not playing right now? He's got a ton of inside information.
Do you think he is?
100%. I really do believe they bet all the time.
He probably
I just
does.
think they can't. I think that they aren't like nobody can catch them. Like that's what I think.
Yeah.
I think they probably have bookies like in the old days, and nobody
yeah.
catches them.
Yeah.
That's my idea. Because what happens with these, I know, is they link them to accounts.
Right.
They've been able to do that.
Yeah.
Does LIV have anything like that?
Yep.
They
Same
do.
deal.
You
Same
can't
thing.
really.
Yeah. Yep.
Why are they just afraid of you betting on events that you are playing in?
I think they're just trying to become more serious.
Okay.
So they wanted to cross their T's, dot their I's, say like, hey, we're going through the same thing that every other tour is doing.
That's true. Yeah, maybe. You're probably right.
Otherwise, it would just look like an absolute free-for-all circus.
That's the great thing, man. It's the Wild
The
West.
rich just keep getting richer.
Wild West of golf, baby.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? By the way, did you see Bubba Watson ain't going to be on a team this year?
What's he going to do?
He got relegated.
Right.
So I don't know if
But he owns part of the range goats.
Exactly. So is he just going to be like captain but not playing captain?
He got relegated, but didn't play that promotions event either.
So is he just saying, F it, I'm just going to keep my millions and
Play as a wild card?
can he play as a wild card?
Good.
Yeah, you think
Because-
so?
Maybe.
I don't know if they give it to him. I think he's just going to be relegated.
And gone?
Not gone. I think he's going to be at the events. I think he's probably because he was at that showdown or whatever
Yeah.
doing like the correspondent, like the on-course correspondent.
Yeah.
I think honestly he's going to probably steer more toward that direction of like, I'll just be an owner, and
I think so too.
I think he's kind of done with golf.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at the way he played like trash.
Yeah.
He did not play well. And again, I hope, nothing against Bubba, but he didn't play well.
No.
And I'd say that if I played like that too.
Right.
So
I didn't know captains could get relegated.
I didn't know that either, dude.
That sucks.
But yeah, does it though? I think it's just. I think it's a good system.
Yeah.
I think the captains, you still own part of the team. You can still make it back on your team.
Right.
But I do think there needs to be some level of relegation, kind of like the tour cards and stuff like that. I know I spoke with Ross a little bit about that too today, whenever we were just talking back and forth about like the new rules. I'm sure you know about them, like cutting it down to like 70-man fields for the signature events, cutting it down to 100 cards.
Yeah.
Like what?
Definitely not growing the game.
No, not at all. It's going to make it way harder to actually join the tours, I think.
Yeah, definitely will.
And that's not a good.
I mean, they make it seem impossible.
They do. Every move feels like every move forward they make, then they make like 2 steps back.
Right.
For instance, with that PIF agreement, right after the PIF agreement, that's when Jay Monahan got his buddies at FSG and SSG involved to get them to dilute the investment of the Saudis, and the Saudis didn't like that, and that's when they backed out a little bit.
Right.
They're now looking at a 6% investment as opposed to like a 51% investment in the tour, just because of the money SSG and them have put in. My problem with stuff like that is then the tour is going to be owned not by players; it's going to be owned by corporations.
Right.
Well, then who's going to make the decisions?
Corporations.
Right, not the players.
No.
So, and that's unlike any other commissioner. That's unlike any other sport, because in every other sport, it's the owners that make the decisions,
Right.
not the corporations.
And that's the good thing about LIV is that these teams are owned by at least
A lot of the players.
right.
Yep. And yeah, Saudis obviously get the big hand involved because they had all the money up front, so they're going to make decisions. But I would almost prefer Saudis make decisions than big corporations, because I think big corporations, that's one of the problems with the PGA Tour broadcasting, is because they suck at picking good people.
Yeah.
They got rid of Faraday.
Right.
They got rid of McCord.
Yeah.
They got rid of all the people you love to watch.
Right.
I think Kisner's not going to last after this year. Did you hear about him?
No.
So he's going to be PGA Tour this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's not going to
I don't think he's going to last, because I think he's going to get too popular, and I think they're going to kick him.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. There's a reason why Jim Nance only does like the Masters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He costs too much money.
Right.
So I think a lot of these guys that aren't that good don't cost them very much of anything.
Right.
And so
They get some commentator. Good enough.
yeah, and that's the problem,
Right.
honestly, because your product, it's similar to any game show, man.
So
Your product is only as good as the pageantry it has, and the pageant part of the pageantry is the host or whoever's talking. You know what I mean? That is part of the pageantry.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I
So
see that.
like, yeah. Anyway, bummer for Marco Penge. Bummer for him.
Sucks. I hope he enjoys his 3 months off though.
Yeah.
Probably gambling up under another account name by now.
Yeah. Why not? Right now that you're
Gotta
suspended
make
for
out
3 months.
I got to somehow figure out how to make out for loss.
Got to make money, baby.
Income.
And what we're going to end on today, something very simple. We're going to end on Scottie Scheffler talking about cryptocurrency. This is pretty funny. So for those of you that weren't watching,
Why would he need to worry about crypto? He's got enough of cash anyway.
that's it. But just for the people that weren't watching, this at the Showdown, basically it was put on by Crypto.com, and you won $10 million. Your team won $10 million of cryptocurrencies, and just the equivalent of it. And so this was Scottie Scheffler reacting after winning $5 million in crypto earnings. Here we go.
Crypto.com, we're super excited to be presenting you guys the first ever crypto purse.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
All right.
What are you going to do with yours?
I don't know. Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
$10 million in crypto. Scottie, where does that fit into the portfolio?
You know, I don't know a whole lot about crypto, but this is good motivation to do some research, maybe ask Steve a couple questions, figure out what's going on.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, I mean, I think it's kind of funny that, we're in 2024?
Yeah.
And, like, do you know about cryptocurrency?
No.
Oh my God, dude!
I'm in the same boat as him, but I hear 10
dude,
million,
you're
and I
like,
feel
what the
all right,
hell?
It's got to be good.
$10 million, gotta be good.
Yeah. It's
Gotta
going
be
to be worth
good.
something one day, probably.
Yeah, I want to know what we were talking about that today. Me and Branson at the club. What kind of crypto they gave them?
Yeah. Doge?
Because it depends, right? Like,
Right.
depends on what you're getting. Are you getting Ethereum or are you getting Bitcoin?
Exactly.
Like, if you're getting Bitcoin, dude,
I guess right now, actually, maybe XRP.
is that a big one?
Maybe that's what I hear.
I just know Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum. What's the Ethereum? Is it Ethereum Lite? See, everybody's gonna make fun of me in the comments because I don't know.
People are commenting on this?
I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Bitcoin.
We've gone up an hour.
What's the other ones? Doge.
I feel like we're on Joe Rogan right now.
You feel like we're on Joe Rogan? I don't think we're on Joe Rogan.
He goes 3 hours. We've only done a minute 12 or an hour 12.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we usually do an hour anyway. Like
Yeah.
that's about it.
Good.
So,
Well,
are you happy?
good deal for Scottie to be getting more money than he already has. Same with Rory.
Facts.
Brooks and Bryson didn't look happy right there.
No,
They didn't look happy.
they did not look happy.
They didn't
Well,
look
it's because
happy.
they sucked, and they shouldn't be happy.
Right.
If you suck, you shouldn't be happy.
Bryson's, he's hitting balls over his house every day.
That was actually kind of cool. I actually like that. You didn't like that?
It was all right.
It was kind of
He
interesting.
got me to watch it.
Yeah, he got me to watch it,
So-
right? Like, it's interesting because I
It was
kept
sick when he
tuning
made
in.
it. He actually should have made it a couple days before, but it looked like a ball was in his way.
Yep.
And it hit a ball.
Yep.
And the guy was down there. They should have moved it out of the way.
Yep.
But it was hard because I think he wanted to show his dispersion.
Yeah.
So it was just like one of those stymy things.
Yep. You can either show your dispersion or you can make the hole in one.
Exactly.
Yep. That's absolutely right. Absolutely. Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully you feel led to joining us again.
Yes. I'll be back on.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel here at Beerly Sports. Check out Beerly Football every Tuesday at 9 p.m. and then Beerly Out of Bounds every Wednesday at 9 p.m. as well. Thank you guys so much for checking out the pod and looking forward to next week. See you guys.